So thank you all for taking time out of your Friday afternoon to join us to talk about public affairs and communications and campus graphics. We really appreciate it. So I'm Lauren Milborn. I'm the Director of Public Affairs and Communications, and part of this conversation will include Chris McGinnis, who is the Public Information Specialist, and Gordon Rivera, who supervises campus graphics. So our goal today is to talk about what we do and what we can offer you and how we operate. And then at the end of this conversation, we would love to get some questions or suggestions from this group, these people, all of you who are interested in hearing from us. So please take notes as you go, because we might address any questions you have during our presentation. But if we don't, we're happy to address them afterwards, even if it's through an email format or whatever, whatever you guys want. So, so anyways, so what I would like to do is share my screen, and we have a PowerPoint that we're going to start going through, and then I'm going to go into our webpage and show you that as well. So let me share my screen. Sorry, I'm terrible at this sometimes. Okay, so can you all see that? Thumbs up? Yeah. Okay, great. Okay. So what we do, we are here to help promote the college. We provide many things, as you can see, marketing, branding, and advertising strategy. So we do this not only for the college as a whole, but we provide branding and advertising strategy for even smaller groups, different programs and things like that. We've done it for CTE, community ed, but like I said, the whole college. So this is our bread and butter. And this is, if you want something branded, you come to us and we help you get a strategy together. We research, plan, and deploy these marketing campaigns. So we really try to make sure that what we're putting out there is working for you and for the college, and for this, obviously, the students and for the audiences that you are trying to reach. We do public and media relations, and definitely the last year we've been doing a lot of crisis communications with COVID. So we've gotten really good at that. But multimedia marketing campaigns, we've really done a lot with that lately, which means that it's not just newspaper ads or flyers, it's all kinds of things. It's digital marketing, it's social media marketing. It's, like it said, it's multimedia. So we really have our thumb on the pulse of all the ways that we can be marketing for the different areas of the college that work, that market their areas and that work for them. We handle video and photography. So we have a videographer and photographer on staff. So he is the one who, for the most part, does a lot of our multimedia stuff for us. He's also been doing our podcasting that we launched. So that's an area that we oversee. Like I said, we do audience research. So we're doing a lot of data. We're looking at a lot of data about what our audiences want to be seeing, which actually is going to go into what Chris is going to show us in just a little bit. So we can look at the data about what our students, how they want to be communicated to. We do graphic design and print, which is what Gordon's going to go into, and he's going to talk all about that kind of stuff. So I'll let him do that and not take too much time. But we do mailing, signage, laser etching. We do it all. Well, I shouldn't say we. Gordon's team does it all, with all that good stuff about putting stuff out there and helping folks brand what they need and what they want to send out. And we do a lot of event support. So we do, we put signage out, like for the vaccination clinics or food signage, or all the signage that you see on campus comes from our office. So if you want signage for something, that you're doing, my office is the one that you would come to, and specifically it would be Vicky Hernandez in my office who would help you with that, and we would coordinate the signage that you might need, and then we would work with facilities to put signage up. So we do all those things, and like I said, much more, and you're welcome to ask questions at the end about what more we might do or how we can help you. But so hold on. So this is a screenshot of our website. And let's see. All right. So to get to our website, so you go to the homepage, you go to About AHC, scroll down, and then you'll see Public Affairs and News. So you click there. And this will basically tell you everything that you need to know about what we can offer you, what we do, and everything. So we have our campus communications. So here we list our news and announcements, which if you're ever wondering about how we are putting out information to the news press, these are the press releases that we put out. And then we put out weekly news and information. So again, if you're ever wondering how we are being actually put in the news and being reported on, newspaper highlights, you can see it here. So our graphic identity standards, I'm not going to go into a bunch of detail about this because it would take probably too much time, but over the past year or so, we updated our graphic identity standards, which is what drives our brand and drives how everything looks the way it looks if you're not familiar with our brand. So I invite you to take a look at these if you have a chance. It explains it all. It's great. The campus graphics team did an amazing job with putting this together last year. And you can see everything from our logos to, let's see, you shouldn't do with the logo, colors, typography, everything. So if you're ever wanting to make a flyer or something, please contact our campus graphics team, because this is what they follow, is our graphic identity standards, and it's very important that we stick with that. If you ever just quickly want the logo though, you can go to this website and they are here, so you can download them. If you ever want a stylized logo, you know, I want a logo for my department or something like that, we can work with you on that. We have we call them logo lockups that we could design for you, or we could even consider something a little more specialized. But just come to us and we will consider what you would like. Publications. So here we just have an area where we show what we've been up to. So we have our 2021 community news that you can take a look at. This was our latest magazine, has a lot of great stuff in it. So I really hope you actually take a look at it if you haven't seen it yet, or hopefully you all got it in the mail. Lots of good stories. Media request form. Okay, so if you want some media for an event or anything that you're having, you just click here and you can put in your information, and then we can schedule the media for you. So it's kind of the best way to do it. It's a way for us to track when people ask for media. And then we have a Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Flickr, and YouTube. I'm not going to waste your time and go through each one, but if you're welcome to check them out if you would like to. But we really, we update them all the time, Chris actually is the one who oversees them. He updates them at least 3 times a day. So if you went on it today, I bet you would see, or yesterday, I bet you would see already a bunch of like posts from, you know, all the things that we're up to. He gets requests all the time for things to post, and he gets them up immediately. He's great. So if you ever want anything posted on these, he is your guy, and he can talk about that a little bit in a minute. And then we have some little statewide recognitions. That's just our way to brag on ourselves. But we've gotten some recognitions over the years for what we've done. So we really, we're really excited to help continue pushing the college forward with our marketing efforts. And the weekly board report is something that we put out every single week, and they're all up here. So if you ever interested in knowing what is sent to the board, that's where it would be. So with that, I am going to go back to the PowerPoint, and I am going to hand it off to Chris, because he is now he's going to talk about the student media preferences. We did a survey over the last year, and we got a lot of responses from our students about how they really actually want to be contacted. And it was very interesting, and we got some good information. So I'm going to turn it over to Chris. Chris, do I need to unmute you, or Carmen, can you unmute him?
I think I am unmuted. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yep, I can hear you.
Awesome. Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Chris McGinnis. If you don't know me, I'm the public information specialist here at Allan Hancock College. And so we were really excited this year. One of the things we got to do is there's a company called Interact. They do a lot of communications and marketing for a lot of community colleges, especially in California. And what they did this past year is they actually teamed up with the Chancellor's office to offer a student media preferences survey. And this was something that colleges could use to send out to their students and kind of take the temperature on a lot of different information from students. Most of it centers around the kind of media they use, where our audiences are. And it was especially important during COVID, where as before we had kind of a captive audience and all our students on campus, where we could get them with, you know, posters and signage and things like that. Because they were so spread out during COVID, it was really important to get data on kind of the best ways to reach them, the best ways to get them information, and the best ways to advertise and market to them. And that's kind of what this survey was. So like I said, it was a survey of the students' media preferences and habits. It was more than 100 questions, and it covered everything from the kind of ways they like to watch TV, their radio habits, what they do with digital and streaming, where they are on social media, and several other platforms. And as I said, this was conducted by Interact, the Chancellor's office, and this was made free available to all community colleges in the nation and in California, which was great. And so what we did is we actually sent this out to our students through rave and email. It was a link that they were encouraged to go and take the survey. We had a really good showing. We had actually more than 1,000 students took the survey. And then out of those, we had about 615 that answered every single question. And so that's kind of the data that we're using here. So, you know, this isn't the only data we look at while making decisions about how to market to these audiences and how to reach them. But we thought, based on, you know, other data we saw based on our marketing campaigns and, you know, what we saw in this survey, again, it was a really good way to take the temperature of our students' preferences and what they think. So we were really excited to see that. The data I'm going to show you is aggregated. It's the overall folks who answered these survey questions, the overall students. But the survey itself has a lot of really detailed data, breaks it down by age, gender, even it has broken down by reason for attending. So we can really get into really granular data, which is really great. So if you have a program or something that you want to market and it has a real specific audience, this is kind of a good way to take this. It's a really good way to find out exactly where these different demographics are, so we can really kind of micro target them, especially when it comes to digital advertising. So this, and we're just going to pull some examples from the survey, but we're not going to make you guys go through every single question. That would take forever. But like this is just an example of one. So, the student survey was, what are your listening preferences? And you can see here, obviously live internet streaming through, places like Spotify and Apple are really popular, as well as music downloaded to their personal devices. This is actually great because, using advertising on streaming audio, especially Spotify, was something that we've been doing. We actually did some English and Spanish ads on streaming music for our spring enrollment campaign. So again, if you broke this down by age or by, some of the other things, those preferences might change a little bit, but overall, it's a good indication that, some of this internet streaming radio is a great place to, again, reach out and get those students. This one was a really good one too. So if, for any of you who stream music on apps like Spotify and others, sometimes you can pay money to not have ads. So in this one, if you look, there was quite a few students said that they paid not to see ads, but there was also a pretty significant group that doesn't. So this is another great way that we can use data. If we start seeing it trending where most people are just blocking the ads, maybe that's not the way we can reach these folks because they're not going to be getting them. As it stands now, there's still a pretty significant portion of them that are using and listening to streaming music and are also will sit there and go through the ads. This one was another really fun one to look at. This is television habits and how do you most frequently watch TV content. As you can see, the folks who are kind of cord cutting and streaming, that's kind of the new thing to do. So that was a pretty significant group of students there. But as you can see, traditional cable TV still is alive and well as satellite. And again, that's another thing that's really great for us because, again, depending on what we want to promote or who we want to reach or what it's for, we can kind of reach into our toolbox and do different things. We do a lot of what they call OTT or streaming advertising. We've been doing that a lot more lately where we're running our commercials on streaming video networks, places like Pluto TV. I don't know if anyone has that, or Hulu, things like that. But as you can see, there's still a significant group of people that are still watching traditional TV. So we'll also still run our television commercials, and so that way you're really kind of maximizing that exposure, which is really great. This one is print and online news, which is really interesting. And if you look at it, unfortunately, print, physical print has been having a hard time for a while. Only 60% of the respondents, or 60% of the respondents said they never read a local printed newspaper, and 64 said they never read a local or regional printed magazines. So that's, as someone who came from print journalism before I came here, it's a little sad to see, but again, it's good to know where's the best place to be spending our money in terms of advertising. And out of those same groups, 48 said they frequently or sometimes read local news online, and another 45% said they frequently or sometimes read national online news. So again, it's really good for learning where's the best place to get the bang for our buck. I can tell you, depending on what it is, we still do print advertising. We did some print advertising for our centennial celebration and a few other places because we wanted to get the widest reach we could, because the centennial celebration is for the whole community. So in addition to digital, we took out these nice big print ads that are great, and it's something if people wanted to keep a copy of it, they could have. But that may not be the case for other campaigns where maybe we're trying to get to younger students who aren't really necessarily going up and picking up a paper. So again, it just gives us a good guide when we look at all the tools we have at our disposal to reach folks.
Right. And I think Chris makes a great point that I want to reiterate, is that the respondents on this are probably a little bit of the lower age demographic. And we, like he said, we do still do print advertising. And I think that is still important for us to do, especially for their parents and for the community. So it doesn't, what you're seeing, I don't want anyone to think, we're not going to be doing print advertising or anything like that anymore. I think this is just our lower age demographic. When we decide how we're going to reach them, this speaks to them. All right, keep going.
Coming up.
And this one was, a question that, we, the answer is pretty obvious, but it's still good to know was, do you own a smartphone? And that's even more important now as we continue to do more digital advertising. And as we, again, don't have students on campus and can't, directly market to them while they're here. So 98% of the respondents said they have a smartphone, which kind of makes sense. Again, one, because a lot of our students do, and two, because this was a survey that they had to sort of take online. And 97% of Latinx and Hispanic respondents said they own a smartphone, which is really helpful for us to know as well. We've been really trying to expand our marketing and advertising to this demographic, especially over this last year. And so really knowing where that demographic is and how to reach them best has been really important to us. And then the last one was 94% of respondents, 51 or older, said they own a smartphone. So again, this is another demographic and group that we like to keep an eye on because, they may be non-traditional students and, they're not coming out of high school. They're not the normal group of students you would normally think that we would market to, but we want to make sure that they're a group that we can reach. And again, we want to know where to reach them. And, our digital advertising includes people getting ads on their phones. That could be through something called geofencing, where we can actually select the whole area, or it could be through, just basic search technology and things like that. So again, this is another area that we're looking closely at and using to our advantage. This one, the survey asked students about how they like to receive information from the college. And this is stuff like, not so much marketing, but basic information, stuff about grades, stuff about upcoming events, things like that, deadlines that may be coming up for scholarships or transfer, things like that. And so what the students said in terms of the way they like to receive information was email topped out the list, So we do send a lot of emails to students. My hope is that they do read them, and I hope that this is an indication that they are still reading those emails, because that is one of the big ways that we get information out to them. 85% said text messages. We have been increasing the use of text messaging to message students. We found it really helpful, especially when it comes to something that we'd like them to take action on, so we can direct them to a web page, whether that's taking care of stuff on their stuff on their student account, or getting them to take a survey, which was one of the ways we got them this survey, was sent them a text message, or to sign up for an event or something like that. 70% said snail mail, and then 66% said a personal telephone call, and 39% said social media. We do put a lot of information out on social media in addition to sending it out through emails and text messages. But what we found is that most students like social media kind of just less for informational stuff and more for just kind of fun things, photos of what's going on at the campus, back when stuff was going on at the campus, things like that. And a lot of that's because social media has to be very short and sweet. You can't always provide a lot of information there. So what we try to do is let them know a little bit about that information on social media, but direct them to where they can get the full information, whether that's a web page, whether that's an email we've sent them, and things like that. And so this one was really good, was how they prefer to contact Allan Hancock College. So these were people who either said they loved, strongly liked, or slightly liked to contact us using these following methods. And again, 88% said email, 79% said a telephone or in person, 74% said telephone call, and 71% said text messages. And then you have website inquiry forms, the chatbot, and social media. And I think this shows something that, again, a lot of us know, is that the students do like that contact with a person, whether it's in person or over the phone. And I'm sure that, especially because this survey was taken during COVID, during fall and spring, when really they were at the height of COVID and everyone was really spread out, I think that contact became really important to them. So we were really interested to see those high numbers for both the in-person and the phone call.
Mm-hmm.
This is more questions about emails. This is something that we're always kind of talking about, is how much do students read the emails that we send them? So it looks like, in terms of this survey specifically, that the bulk of them, they say they read them somewhat thoroughly, mostly thoroughly, or very thoroughly. So again, I don't think this can speak for every single student, but at least the folks who answered the survey said that they do at least try to somewhat thoroughly read them at the least, or very thoroughly read them at the most. The one question that wasn't on the survey that I wish would have been there is how soon from when they get the email to when they open it, do they read it? So that's another thing that we're always kind of talking about, asking ourselves about, and trying to get data on, is, how quickly are students getting the email? Are they reading them? How effective is that method of getting them the information? And how can we make that process? So they'll be more encouraged to open them, or they'll want to, or to get those numbers up, because that is, again, a very large way, especially now that we get them information.
Sorry.
I talk fast, but not that fast. Sorry. So this is college communications delivery. So which best describes how you most like to receive the following types of college related information? So this gave the survey respondents different types of information: cancellations and closures, college related events, financial aid, grades, information about programs, registration, scholarship, and then asked them how they like to receive this. Obviously, the big one again was email. They like to get it through email. But one of the other data points on here that we thought was really interesting too, especially if you look at the stuff about grades, program information, registration, you see a spike in the student portal. And that's something that we do use and have been putting information on and are trying to utilize a little more, is that student portal. It's a great way to put, news and events and other announcements on there, because they're going to that portal a lot. They're seeing that portal a lot. It's not something that's lying buried in their college email somewhere. It kind of gets it right in front of them, which is pretty effective. And I think those were kind of the big ones. And obviously text messaging again is on here. There's a couple, especially the cancellation and closure notices. Text messages is almost higher than email. So that's, again, one of the reasons that we are utilizing text messages more, and that they can be really effective for specific things, especially when it comes to information like this and getting it to students. This is social media platforms. So these are percentages for respondents who said they sometimes, frequently, or always use the following social media platforms. YouTube was by far and away the top one here. That's not super surprising, especially as Lauren said, because the demographics who answered the survey were largely on the younger side. And YouTube has long been a really great place to for them, where they go, they watch videos, they want to learn how to do something, they go to YouTube. They want to, check out, the latest viral video, they'll go to YouTube. And we've had actually a lot of success. So the last couple enrollment pushes that we've done have included taking the 30-second video spot that we would run on TV or some other places and putting it on YouTube. We did an English and Spanish YouTube promo for spring registration as well. And that's something that we're probably going to continue to do, because YouTube is great because it's a place where a lot of people go. But because it's a social media platform, when you put an ad on YouTube, a video on YouTube, you can get really specific about who you want to see it. You can say people who have been watching videos with a certain, keywords or themes can get the video. So you can really get granular with it and get groups. If you're looking to market to a very specific group of people, you can really get them where they are, and they will see these videos. And it's one that we continue to use a lot. And then, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, we have an Instagram and Facebook account. That's a great place that our students like to go to check out what we're doing and what's happening at the college. It's also where we do advertising. We do a lot of Facebook and Instagram advertising because it's another great place to reach people on social media, and it's actually very inexpensive to do. So again, if you have a program or a service that you want to advertise and you have a very small budget, you can really get a lot of bang for your buck by advertising on social media, specifically on Facebook and Instagram. Snapchat, we've done a little bit of advertising. I think in the past we've created, Snapchat filters. We do have the option of creating some Snapchat advertising. So that's also something we can look at, depending on what demographic we want to reach. TikTok is down here a little bit, but TikTok is climbing. TikTok has been getting really big, especially with everyone being at home for the pandemic. They've been glued to TikTok. TikTok is kind of quirky and funny, and so that's the kind of ads that you'll see a lot of brands on there. So that is something we're keeping our eye on too, as a possibility, as using TikTok again to reach that, especially the younger demographic, really like it. And then we've got some other ones, you know, Twitter, Pinterest, WhatsApp, Reddit, and LinkedIn. You know, right now the college has all the major social media accounts. We've got a Facebook, we've got a Twitter, we've got an Instagram. If you haven't checked them out, I really encourage you to. And as Lauren said, if you ever have anything you want to promote, or if you're doing, you know, a cool kind of program, or even if you have a cool photo of a project, you know, your classes or your department is working on that you just want to highlight, feel free to send it to me. I'm always looking for content for our social media. And the more we can get that stuff out there, the better.
Yep. All right.
This was a question we asked them about marketing specifically. So it says, if you were a potential student, which of the following recruitment methods would have the strongest impact on you? And when we got this back, the survey respondents, actually the top two ones we had were high school, which is basically your high school counselors. And the next one of the next largest ones was a campus visit, and then, you know, social media. And again, because of COVID, I think what this shows is, again, how important that contact is for students, that they really want to have that person-to-person experience. And I think that shows when you look at, you know, they want to hear this from their, you know, they're saying they want to hear this from their high school counselors. You know, unfortunately, because of COVID, we can't do the in-person campus visits anymore, but you can see from this, because these are current students, that obviously being able to be on campus and take that tour had, you know, probably had a big impact on them, if that's something that they're saying that you know, that would strongly impact them to do this again. You know, some of the other ones on here are social media, which we're already doing. YouTube is low, but I still think there's a lot of potential with YouTube. But you see, you know, there's other stuff, traditional, you know, commercials, local TV and radio. These are all sort of, again, parts of the toolbox that we have to market to these groups. But again, you know, sometimes there really is no substitute for person-to-person, that person-to-person interaction, especially when they're making some of these really important decisions. This is the last slide I have, and this is how often do you recommend your college to family or friends? And you see the bulk of them said sometimes, frequently, or always. And I think the reason we wanted to include this is just to say that we know that the last year has been really difficult and challenging for everybody, and especially for our students. But, you know, at least, you know, I've seen over the last year all the great work that, like, all our departments have done, that all of you have done to try to go, like, above and beyond to help our students continue with their schooling during this really difficult time. And so what I hope this shows is that these students, many of these students, recognize what you guys are doing. They recognize all the hard work that you put in to making sure that they can overcome all the obstacles that were thrown at them this year. So despite all the craziness of the last year, most of these students, the vast majority of them, said they would still recommend and still do recommend Hancock. And so I think that's really because of all the great work that you guys have done, making this college a supportive place for them during this time. So that's everything for me, and thanks for listening.
Thank you so much, Chris. That was a great presentation. And I hope that everyone on this meeting can see that, you know, the public affairs group really is looking at data and research and really wants to promote the college in the best way it can to our particular students and understand what they need and how they need to be communicated with. So thank you, Chris. That was great. And with that, I would like to hand it off to Gordon. Gordon, do you want me to stop sharing my screen and just go into your video, or how do you want me to do this?
Can I go over our website real quick, and then a couple of things I want to talk about, and then I can release it back to your presentation?
Yep, I'll stop share. Go ahead.
Well, hello there. I see some friendly faces. Welcome back. If you haven't been back to physical to to Hancock, but good to see you all. I'm not going to go over too much as far as what, a lot of you know what we do. I just wanted to kind of just give you an overview as far as where we are now. One of the things that Lauren said when we went to the graphic standards is the lockups. And you can see here on the website here, if you go over to my Hancock, to the campus graphics, you'll see on the portal side, there is logo lockups. So when you pull that up, you'll see that you can pull up your actual lockup for your organization already. So that's, we made that available for you that you guys can have. And I just wanted to, just to clarify something that Chris was mentioning. It's about the reduction of print materials and advertising in the newspapers and stuff. That makes sense. But as many of you have noticed that, when you get a personalized mailer in the mail, it's very powerful. Mm-hmm. And it's proven that the students, millennials, and even in the new generation, they enjoy that interaction. So that's why we keep using that. And so we can see here that 8 out of 10 consumers, they respond to direct mail immediately. When I get a direct mail, I'm more inclined to say, okay, what exactly is it telling me? And what's cool about the direct mail is that how depth of the data we have, we can send each postcard to its own image to tailor that student. So if we had data for like students that are, for fire, nursing, and we had that all incorporated into the data set, each postcard we print can be tailor-made to that particular student's wishes. So it's very powerful, and it is a very cool tool, which we do, and we have the ability to do that. We have the software. So that is on the portal side. If to find us on the public side, if you just go to services, to campus graphics, and in here you'll see that there's, it's pretty much boilerplate language here, but there's a couple things I just want to show you that's new. Number one, if you are doing like a mailer, or if you want to do a more complicated project, go ahead and choose the pre-production checklist. And you can see here, it's got everything in here to get you started, walk you through the steps as far as how to plan your product, how to plan your mailer and such. Because a mailer, you can see here, requires a heck of a lot more steps that you might not know about that don't involve campus graphics. You can see bulk mail pieces and PowerPoints. So I encourage you to take a look at that. Also, in case you didn't know, during COVID conditions, especially with the HERF grants and the CARE, we were able to provide free student printing to the students. And how they get there is they go to the student online orders, and we have their own website that they can submit their orders. And this is going to be modified also for graduation. So when the graduating students can submit their own personal 18 by 24 poster, just like we did last year. So this will be available to students as well. So you can see it's got the files, it's got some download instructions in case the file's too big to send via email. And then we also have some just COVID forms. And as we get out of COVID, this will be modified specifically more to student and community website, community orders. So I didn't know if you knew that, if you knew that already, but that's very cool. And then see if you wanted to submit a job through us, through our Print Shop Pro, you would hit this site, and this is pretty much primarily where all of you will reside. And this should look familiar from pre-pandemic. Campus Graphics is pretty much operating on a pre-pandemic level. We're open from 8 to 7, Monday through Thursday, and then 8 to 4 on Fridays. And then we have a front lobby open. You can come in. It's got the 6-foot distance, and also with the floor graphics. We don't have a copier yet in that lobby yet. Once we get back to in person, that's actually going to be reinstalled. But we have a full lobby that if you ever want to pick up your work, or if you want to contact Campus Graphics, you can go ahead and do that. One more, just a clarification. As you return into Campus Graphics and you're submitting your print work, you'll know that if you had your credentials to log in to Campus Graphics, they are now required to be the same credentials as you log into, say, the portal. So it's your first initial last name, and then it's the same password you would get to access the portal or any other Hancock devices. And on that note, I did a really quick rundown. And if you ever wanted to contact my office, I can talk to your groups as far as, the data and how we can get these variable data projects out. We're really trying to push that because we have the technology to do it. Not a lot of us are doing it, but if we're going to do a mailing, let's make it count. And that's what we would do with the variable. Okay, Lauren, I'll get you back to your presentation.
Yeah, you made great points, Gordon. Thank you so much. The Campus Graphics team can offer so much to everyone around the college with their mailings and the variable mailings he talked about. And sometimes that can be maybe a little bit confusing to people that aren't familiar, but he and his team are very good at explaining how they can help with that. So always please reach out to him if you are interested. We do have a Campus Graphics video. I know we're running short on time, so I thought maybe it's 3:13. Maybe I start it for just, I don't know, a few minutes so you can get kind of a taste of this video. It just goes over everything that they can offer you, and then you can watch it on your own if you're interested. And then I do want to open it up for questions. So if that sounds good to everybody, I can play this just for a few minutes. And this is the Campus Graphics team doing this whole video. They're very talented.
Are you sharing your screen?
Oh, can you not see it?
No, we're not.
We hear it.
Oh,
We're hearing
I'm
it.
sorry. I always forget to hit the share button sometimes. Okay, hold on. But they put together this whole thing. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that.
Hi, welcome to Campus Graphics, implant print shop at Allan Hancock College in Santa Maria. We are located in Building H, Room 102. We are safely open Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Fridays from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Come in, check out the shop.
Campus Graphics, or CG as the locals like to call it, provides a variety of digital printing services to Allan Hancock College and the surrounding Central Coast nonprofit community. These services include, but are not limited to, top-of-the-line black and white and color printing, wide format printing, brochures, business cards, postcards, stationery, posters, flyers, booklets, course backs, and more. Oh, hey, look at that. I probably should cut this down before I continue. I like cutting down. Sing the cutting song. This is the cutting song. Sorry if I sang it wrong, but this is the cutting song. La da da da, la da da da. Sing the cutting song, sing the cutting song, sing the cutting song. La da da da, la da da da, la da da da. I think I stole that tune from something. YouTube is going to flag me. Here are some examples of the high quality color printing that we provide. The first piece was letterhead for the Guadalupe Police Department, and this piece right here is a program for our graduating law enforcement academy. Campus Graphics handles the graduating programs for all of Allan Hancock College, as well as the majority of the high schools in the Santa Maria and Orchid school districts. We have some top-of-the-line binder equipment. This machine right here is our Duplo 646 slitter cutter creaser, which allows us to trim and score covers all in one pass. And then this machine on the right is our Duplo booklet maker, which allows us to put a saddle stitch in and page trim all in one pass. We also use the Duplo 646 to cut our business cards, which allows us to streamline the process. Campus Graphics prides itself on keeping up with the latest trends in the print industry and have recently expanded our wide format services to include banners, mounted posters, floor vinyl, window clings, cut vinyl, yard signs, and more. The process that Liz is demonstrating right now is how we mount our posters. We purchased this equipment a few years ago, and it allows a single person to mount a poster quickly and efficiently while maintaining consistency and quality.
Are you looking for new ways to promote your event or guideline? Window cleans, as shown here, are a great marketing tool or attention grabber. Here we see Rob installing the Centennial Paint our designers created to mark the 100-year anniversary of Hancock College. These particular ones were installed in the span of a week at our student center, and others were found at building entrances.
Window clings are also great because while they look like a full poster on the outside, they're actually completely see-through on the other side. So it still allows a lot of natural sunlight to come through, as you'll see in a few seconds. Now, I'm sure everyone's familiar with floor vinyl at this point, since it's in pretty much every single store that we've all walked into this past year. But floor vinyl is not just for COVID times. It's a great way to transform the lobby of your site or storefront to give that little extra wow factor for when people walk in. The process that Liz is demonstrating right now is our cut vinyl. And this is done on the same machine that we do our floor vinyl on. It allows us to make these custom letterings that can go on doors and windows. In addition to all the printing, here are some services that you might not have known that Campus Graphics provide. Variable data printing. Let us print the addresses on your envelopes or customize your mailing piece to have more of a personal touch. Some cut stickers for your next event.
We also provide graphic design. Our shop consists of 2 full-time graphic designers that can take your ideas and turn them into a masterpiece. The demonstration you're seeing in front of you is the poster that was created for a Friday night science event back in 2019. As you can see, there's a lot of time that is put into a poster like this. We work with Adobe programs like Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign to achieve your desired look and feel. Using the designer, I select the desired person and object and place them onto their artboard. Final files are created in InDesign to provide a pleat, meaning there is an 1/8 of an inch all around the poster in order to cut down to the desired size without copying into text or imagery.
And last but not least, engraving. Whether you're looking for a cool gift, wedding favor, giveaway item, or just need name tags for your event, we can engrave on almost anything. Materials include plastic, wood, leather, stainless steel with a coating, and glass. Thank you all for watching our video, and I hope you will consider Campus Graphics for any of your future printing and design needs.
All right, we did have enough time to play it, and we have enough time for Q&A. So as public affairs and graphic communications, I would love to take some questions. I'm sure Gordon, Chris, and I would love to hear what you guys have to say. Any comments, questions?
I have a question.
Sure, go ahead, Maureen.
Great job. So I'm probably putting the cart before the horse, but we are getting a new building And they have decided it's going to be M500. And do we initiate any signage in there, or does that come from facilities?
I mean, I would probably hand it over to Gordon a little bit, but it would come from facilities, and then they would work with campus graphics on getting the signage, right, Gordon?
Yeah, if you're talking about the silver signage that's outside during.
Just any, I mean, there's capacity signage. I mean, there's just all kinds of things that go into a new build.
Yeah, well, we would work with facilities to do the cut vinyl for capacity and all the inside. However, if the silver signage, the outside,
Right.
that's done through facilities.
Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah, but facilities should, we'd be working in tandem with facilities on that.
Right. And, I think you would also want to include Vicky in my office and something like that. She is kind of the coordinator of signage when it comes to this issue. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, she's been great. We've been picking out fabrics and all that kind of stuff. So
Awesome. Okay, I see Pam has
Thank
had
you.
her hand up. Oh, no problem. Thanks, Doreen. Pam, I see your hand has been up. Do you have a question? You're on mute.
Sorry, I'm on the phone.
That's okay.
I've been answering phones and making phone calls throughout the meeting, and I just was wondering if this would be recorded, because there were some brief moments that I had questions on, but I didn't get to listen on everything.
Yes, this is being recorded. And so we will be able to send out a recording to you or to anyone who's interested in it. So.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to mute back.
Okay. I see Veronica has her hand up.
For students currently, they can print at Campus Graphics and get copies? Is that?
Yes.
Okay, so that's totally remote though, or can they go and use one of the computers in your lobby?
They can go and you actually use the computer now too. But
Okay.
we just don't have the computer the printer in the lobby like we used to. So when the student comes, we try to encourage them to order remote, and then they can pick up in the lobby like you saw. But we do have a monitor there that we can take student work in as needed.
Okay, do they need to contact you before they go, or can they just go?
They can just go.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
Your hours on your website, right?
Yeah, 8 to 7. That's like pre-pandemic. So we're rocking.
Thank you. Oh, wait, one more. Is there like a cost sheet that we can give to our students, or let them, is that all on the web too?
It's FREE. It's free.
Awesome, thanks.
Yep.
Yeah, we're doing free printing for the time being. So you can just tell your students that.
Good to know.
Veronica, that's for Hancock work, right? So I mean, if they want to print for their wedding or something like that, that would be obviously cash, and we could
No
talk.
caveat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Point,
Only
good
if we
point.
don't work.
I see Marina's hand is up. Marina.
Hi, Jordan, just following up on that, for our non-credit students, what can they do? What do they need to bring in order to get some printing done? Do they need a student ID with them?
We asked for the H number when they place the order, just to confirm that they're a student.
Okay, because they will, so they could come in, give them an H number, tell them what they need printed, or bring it with them.
Yes, right. And then Marina, did you see when I had that website for the student printing? I'll put that down as a link. I'll email it to the classified. We're trying to get people to go there. They could submit all their work on there and then pick up right from Campus Graphics. That's what we like.
Okay, thank you. Oh, thank you, Jordan. I just, I know that we have some technically challenging barriers to remove for some of our students, so we're trying to
Right. We have 2 fully bilingual classified staff who work in Campus Graphics. So, and then they can, if the students want to come, we can give them a monitor and they can submit their work that way.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
You bet.
All right. I see Pam Story has her hand up. You're on mute, Pam, in case you're trying to talk. No, maybe she had to step away. Does anyone, if she might pop in, but does anyone else have any questions, comments, anything about what we do, what we can offer you? No? Well, maybe Pam will send me an email since she seems to have disappeared. Well, I hope everyone has found this helpful. Like we've hopefully showed you, we offer lots of different services for everybody at the college, and we're always here to help and support you and answer your questions about how we can help you and how we can support the different programs and departments. So between myself, Chris, Gordon, Vicky's, I don't think she's on this call, but she's our coordinator in public affairs. Gina is here. She's our technician, our photographer, videographer, and then the folks over in community ed. Everybody's here to help support all of you. So just always reach out and please visit our webpage if you have any questions about how to do that. But I don't have anything else to add unless Chris or Gordon do, or if there's anyone.
I do.
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention to everyone that there is a style guide. Maybe you can touch on that.
Oh, that's a good point.
It is.
Yes. Okay. So we do have a style guide, which it's actually one of our department goals this year to update because it hasn't been updated in a couple of years. So the style guide, as far as I know, I don't think it's on our website right now because we're going to be updating it. But when we review your work as things come to us, we do use our style guide to make sure it follows the district and college standards. So the way we capitalize things or the way we phrase things like that. So I'm happy to send the style guide out to anyone who's interested, but we do follow that and we are looking to update it. And when it is updated, it's kind of like what we did with the graphic identity standards. We will kind of take it on a little roadshow and let everyone know, what is new and what we've done. And then we'll be posting it. So in addition to the graphic identity standards, we do have that style guide. So thank you, Carmen, for pointing that out.
Just one thing, Shelda did make a really good point to me. She says, when we're planning a print job, and we didn't really talk about timelines, it's kind of in that check sheet we have. Give yourself some time. For a graphic design job could take anywhere from 5 to 10 days. Variable print job, like we talked about, could take up to 3 weeks, including mailing and all the other stuff it takes. So, and then we work with public affairs to get the copy fixed and translated. So it does take some time in order for us to do it right.
Yeah, so that's a great point too, Shelda and Gordon. And I think another thing to just add on to that is that, especially in these COVID times, my office has been requested to have a lot more video done because now that everything has gone viral. So if you want a video of whatever it is to help promote something, that also takes quite a bit of time. So just try to plan ahead, hopefully you don't come to us and say, I wanted this yesterday. If you have an idea, we'll work with you and try to make it happen for you. But it does take a little bit of time and planning. But I'm sure we can pull something off. And another thing too is if we're doing podcasts right now, and if anybody has any good ideas for people to interview for podcasts that Chris is nodding his head, like either alumni, students, faculty, staff, classified, actually, we're looking for some classified, that would make a good podcast, please let us know. We're just looking for, they're just fun conversations between Dr. Walters and someone else. And so we're always looking for a good new person to interview. So you can email Chris or I with any ideas that you have, and we would love to hear them.
Lauren, I just had one more thought that where would you suggest someone goes for translation services?
Oh, that's a great thought. Okay, so for translation services, you would want to contact Vicky Hernandez in my office. She's the one who is in contact with our translator who we've contracted with. And so she will translate what you need. If you're putting an order in with Campus Graphics and you need it translated, that process will happen, and Gordon, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but that process will happen behind the scenes. Like if you say, I need this translated, she will take care of that. You don't have to specifically reach out to her. If it's something else that's not through Campus Graphics, you would want to contact Vicky for something like that. I hope that makes sense.
It does to me.
So
I think there was Joy. I think Joyce had a question.
oh really? Oh, okay. Joyce, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't have a question.
Sorry, your name
No,
came
that's
up.
okay. Thank you.
Lauren, I have a question. It's Diana.
Sure. Hi, Diana.
Hi. If we do like events outside of business hours on a weekend or evening, is there an extra charge to the program if to get the signs and do all the extra work? Is there an extra expense for that?
I don't think so. I mean, you would just get your signage through Campus Graphics, and then you would work with facilities or Vicky to have things posted. So I don't see where there might be an extra charge. Do you see that, Gordon?
I do remember paying for that in the past. Like there'd be an extra charge for maintenance or something like that.
Oh, well, there might be if they have to have a grounds and during the day on a Saturday, you might be having to pay for that payroll.
Yeah, and that wouldn't go through my office. That would go through Jim Harvey with facilities. So I'm not aware of that.
But in order to answer your question, Diane, we would just print your stuff for you prior to that, and we'd hand it off to facilities, and then they would
let me know.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You bet.
Okay, well, it's past 3:30, and if no one else has any questions, I am sure that Dr. Walder is very happy with this. He had to step away, so on his behalf, I'm saying thank you for everything. And we will have another professional development meeting next month. If you guys have any ideas of what you would like addressed that would benefit everyone on campus, that's a classified staff member, we're happy to take suggestions and work to make those happen. So with that, everybody have a great weekend. It's going to be a nice one. So enjoy it. And we'll see.
And I want to thank everyone for being here. I'm so happy that people actually were interested. So
No, thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good week.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.